wanted a mission. And for my sins, they gave me one.
Mobile phones, I hate them. I just find them really irritating.
The horror. The horror.
Rehearsal, Mr. Merton.
Room 101 returns. Tomorrow at 9 on BBC Two.
Dennis, when I snap my fingers, you will become a snake. When I snap my fingers again, you'll return to normal, and your snake phobia will be cured. Hello? Oh, hey, Greg. Sure, no, now's the perfect time.
Hey, Dennis.
Denmark is sending a large number of troops into Greenland, according to local reports.
Yes, jagt. Velkommen til.
Vice also reported Danish Arctic Special Forces were deployed to the region, making everyone very nervous.
For a new car, the sound a flat tire makes.
Denmark, the name of the modern Scandinavian country in Europe, literally means Dan's mark. Its people are called the Danes, and this is because they are the tribe of Dan, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. According to their legends, they originated from a patriarch called Dan, and the first king of Denmark, according to Saxo Grammaticus, was called Dan or half Dan. According to the Irish historians Thomas More and Geoffrey Keating, the Tuatha De Danann or tribe of Dan arrived in Ireland after fleeing the Mediterranean, and after colonizing Ireland they spread into Scandinavia. According to Dudo, who wrote the history of the Normans, the Danes originated from the Danann Greeks. When England was invaded by the Saxons, Angles and Jutes, who came to dominate England until the Norman invasion, those three tribes originated from Denmark. Once they moved to England, the remaining Danes in Scandinavia must have colonized Denmark. Thus we can see how the tribe of Dan arrived in Europe by sea, and the Bible confirms this, as in the book of Judges, when the tribes of Israel were warring with the Canaanite, the prophet Deborah asked the question, why did Dan remain in ship? The tribe of Dan did not participate in the war with Canaan, as they were colonizing Europe.
Hey, what's up guys? We're here now at a remote port in Greenland, where as you can see down there, Denmark has just sent in the Arctic Special Forces. They got shiesties, they got camo, they got ghillie suits, and they're about to walk up here. I'm shaking right now because I'm so nervous being an American.
What I find funny about all this is everyone's saying, no, there's no problem, everything's cool, and just more troops, planes keep coming, ships keep coming. We got the special forces here unloading their weapons. There's a troop buildup. We've been saying it all along.
Hello brothers, how you doing?
What regiment?
What regiment are you with?
So all the politicians are saying, yeah, no, everything's fine, nothing to see here. But as we were in the port this morning, 2 warships came in. The airport is being inundated by troop transport after military plane. These guys here are like full on night vision glasses, silencers, SEAL Team 6, Special Forces kind of.
She was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed her.
She's very nice. So.
It's great to have the Prime Minister of Denmark, a wonderful man doing a wonderful job, and we have a truly great relationship, and we're working together on many fronts, so thank you.
Thank you. And it's nice to be here.
Thank you very much.
So how do you see Denmark as an ally?
Very good ally, great ally. Great people.
What do you expect from the meeting today?
We're going to have certain exchanges that'll be, I think, very fruitful.
Online commentators mock the footage, with this person saying they're equipped with the wrong type of gear. And this person agrees, saying armed with Danish pastries. The Danish response comes after days of escalating tensions between the US and NATO nations after Trump's intention to acquire Greenland. The US president attempted to get under Denmark's skin by mocking their military.
The Trump campaign's officially licensed Make America Great Again, or MAGA hats, are made here at the Cali Fame Headwear Factory in Carson, California, just outside of Los Angeles.
The fabric, the cord, the plastic strap, the fabric underneath, the sweatband, the whole hat is made here in America.
The company doesn't only make MAGA hats. It specializes in all kinds of headwear, which it manufactures and customizes. But the company has worked with Trump for years. Before the campaign, Cali Fame made hats for Trump's golf courses.
We've been making golf hats since the 50s. Cali Fame Los Angeles was one of the first golf hat manufacturers.
The red MAGA hat retails for $25. Every purchase of a MAGA hat, along with any other item for sale on the Trump campaign's official website, counts as a campaign contribution. Around 100 employees work in the factory, and according to an interview Brian Kennedy did with the Los Angeles Times in 2015, around 80% of the workforce is Latino. And according to the Trump campaign, all employees are verified U.S. citizens. We didn't speak to any employees during our shoot.
Do I look like Trump?
But in 2015, MSNBC visited the factory, and reporter Jacob Soboroff spoke to some of the workers.
When you heard that you're going to make the hats for Trump, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
More work for us.
Some of the stuff that he said, it's not been particularly nice to the Latino community. When you guys hear some of that stuff, what do you think?
I just try to ignore it.
Making the hats requires a 23-step process, much of which is done by hand.
I think that this hat is an icon for what is going on in the country, and we're really happy to make the hat for the president. Hopefully we can keep this going.
All right, you ready? So this is something written by Al Wilson in the 1950s. And think of this when we think of ISIS. Think of it when we think of people coming into our country who we don't know who they are. Just think of it, because I think it's really pretty amazing. And it's called The Snake. Ready? On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried. I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you.
In the annals of history, the tribe of Dan stands out with its enigmatic connection to serpents. Why is the serpent a symbol so closely linked to them? Originating as one of the 12 tribes of Israel, the Danites have a symbol often associated with a serpent. This symbol is based on a prophecy by Jacob in the Bible. This serpent symbol has led to various interpretations over time. Some view it as a representation of wisdom. The tribe of Dan's movements and settlements have been a subject of intrigue, with some theories suggesting they left traces of their serpent symbol across ancient Europe. The legacy of the serpent tribes of Dan continues to captivate scholars as they delve into the depths of history.
Magadan, a harbour town with a population of 150,000, lies on the Sea of Okhotsk in the far east of Siberia, some 2,000 kilometers from the nearest city. Magadan was the administrative center of Stalin's Kolyma Arctic death camps, the gulags, a vast system of work camps and prisons in Siberia through which millions were imprisoned and perished from exposure, starvation, and execution between 1932 and 1954.
We know that were many, many unmarked graves, and they actually call Magadan one large grave site.
You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dog sled. It's true. They thought that was a great move.
And whilst Trump is showing no signs of backing down, the US president has riled up his European allies who are now calling for him to back away from Greenland.
And so any decision about the future status of Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark alone.
But Trump has gone even further, threatening a tariff on all nations that do not support the US acquisition of Greenland.
Put a 25% tariff, which is, by the way, about 7 times more than they would have to pay by raising their drug, like 7 times. This wasn't like a little bit more, 7 times more.
When gold and other precious metals were discovered in the Kolyma region in the early 20th century, a wealth to feed the USSR's hungry industrial expansion, Stalin's Dalstroy project, a government agency formed to mine the reserves, initially drew upon criminals as a workforce. But prisoners soon included perceived enemies of the state, intellectuals, political opponents, and finally Christians. The conditions were brutal, and in the end prisoners, men and women, were forced to work 12 hours a day and food was rationed. The combination of exhaustion, hunger, and extreme climate reduced the average life expectancy to 6 months.
We don't really know how many were imprisoned, and the archives are not open to know how many actually died. I had a list, and in 1942, October 17th, there was 165,000 prisoners in Magadan.
And I may do that for Greenland too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you a little, I'll talk about I'll take you out of that. In fact, that'll end up being the story. But actually, this is a much bigger story because we're reducing healthcare by numbers that you haven't seen. So,
whilst many in politics and the media are slamming Trump for his defiance on the issue, commentator Glenn Beck agrees with the president, saying the US needs Greenland.
I believe we do need Greenland, not as a 51st state, maybe as a protectorate, it would be nice. Not by force, not by military. It has rare earth minerals, and it is strategically placed in such a place that it is essential for us if you are preparing for war.
He's created 14 clones of Quartetera, his very best horse, a 17-year-old mare who is fast, easy to direct, and can turn on a dime. She was honored last year as the best polo horse in history. Her clones seem to be just as gifted.
Are they all as good? I want to call her Mama. I don't think that's probably the right
the
word.
Original.
The original.
Yeah.
Are they all as good?
I already won 2 Argentine Opens with the clone, so they will end up being as good as her, I think.
Quartetera's clones are identified by numbers.
Shouldn't they have names?
They have names.
Well, they don't.
Quartetera.
Yeah, but...
Quartetera 1, 2, 3,
Was
4.
that your idea?
Yes, because I believe that she is a quartetera. All of the ones that I ride, they're quarteteras.
And then it was such a hit. It was way bigger than I even anticipated. And now, I think we're gonna make part 2. I think you have to. I think you have to. They kill you if you try to walk away, and they clone you.
Are you a writer?
I've got everything a poet needs, except poems.
I've got everything an air hostess needs, except illusions.
Twin spirits.
Mac doesn't talk much about his work at the Institute. Do y'all work with him? Saving lives and all must be real rewarding. It's our fancy tracksuits. Y'all exercise out in the sea, you're gonna get yourself some nasty heat stroke. Oh, Mac, look, they got matching bracelets. Oh, we should do that.
Susie, do you remember the talk we had about all the talk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, would you please run down to Red's and pick us up a 6 or a Bud? We've got the talk shop.
Okay, baby. Just making friends.
I know, good.
Why do they lie, Mac? Why do they lie to us? Tell me.
To keep you from knowing what you are.
What we are?
What are we?
Oh, man, why do I gotta be the guy who tells the kids there's no Santa Claus? Okay, look, you're, well, you're not like me. I mean, you're not, human. I mean, you're human, but you're not real. You're not like a real person, like me. You're clones. You're copies of people out here in the world.
What? Clones?
What?
Copies? What are you talking about?
Some hag trophy wife needs new skin for a facelift, or one of them gets sick and they need a new heart. They take it from you.
But I have a mother. I remember her.
Yeah, I know.
I grew up on a farm. I have a little dog, and I had a bike.
A bike, right. It was a pink flexi flyer with little tassels on the handlebars, and you rode it up the street to your grandmother's house, and you ring the little bell, and she came out and served you cookies on a hot plate.
Yeah. So you actually think...
She's quartetera. When I play,
So 6 is quartetera,
it's quartetera.
And when you're on 9, it's the same thing?
Quartetera.
But she's an individual.
Yes. But the DNA is a quartetera.
Yeah, but when you have identical twins, they each get a name.
But this is not twins, it's a clone.
The Kentucky Derby, surrounded by a wealth of tradition and history, is touted as one of the greatest sporting events in the world. But for many people, it's more than just a sporting event. The Kentucky Derby has become a celebration of Southern culture and an event cemented in Kentucky history. People from all over the world gather at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky on the first Saturday in May, dressed to the nines, donning a beautiful hat, all while sipping a mint julep and singing My Old Kentucky Home. Today, the Kentucky Derby is the longest-running sporting event in the nation and has remained uninterrupted since its debut in 1875. Rain or shine, the Derby continues. It has even persisted in times of hardship, such as the Great Depression, World War I, and World War II. It all began in 1872, while Meriwether Lewis Clark, the grandson of the famous explorer William Clark, was traveling in Europe. Clark attended the Epsom Derby in England, where he was inspired to open his own racetrack in Louisville. Clark wanted a way for people to showcase the Kentucky breeding industry, and so, after his return from Europe, he began the design and development of his racetrack. Thanks to the generosity of his uncles John and Henry Churchill, who leased him 80 acres of their own land, Clark was able to build the track about 3 miles south of downtown Louisville. With the help of his uncles, Clark became the president of what is known as the Louisville Jockey Club, a club formed by a number of wealthy horse race fans who assisted Clark in raising the needed support for the track. The track would later become known as Churchill Downs, in honor of Clark's uncles. On May 17, 1875, the track was finally open to the public and included a grandstand, clubhouse, and stables. However, the grandstand we know today, which features the twin spires, wasn't introduced until 1895. The day's events included 4 different races, 3 of which were created specifically for the track's official grand opening. These included the Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks, and the Clark Handicap, each of which were modeled after races in England. Approximately 10,000 spectators showed up to witness the first annual running of the Kentucky Derby, as 15 3-year-old thoroughbred horses ran a 1.5-mile race. The Kentucky Derby has been through many changes over the years, everything from the size of the crowds to the shortening of the race. However, through each development, it has embraced the test of time by continually honoring the spirit of the famous race set forth all those years ago.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby. Fierceness was off at mid-pack and is trying to recover. Track Phantom showing good speed today and is racing toward the lead. And from the far outside, Epic Ride is racing out there too in this historic run beneath the Twin Spires in Derby 150. And there's 4 across the track early. Track Phantom down toward the inside, just still in between. Fierceness is right there. Third on the outside. Epic Ride comes out racing in 4th as they move into the first turn. Stronghold is 5th. West Saratoga's in 6th. Mystic Dan in tight toward the rail 7th.
We take the unfertilized egg of an ovulating female and destroy all of its genes and chromosomes. We then implant the nucleus of the donor cell. That cell, with its genetic material intact, eventually becomes an embryo and is born as a living creature. Without parents? Well, it has no father because the egg was never fertilized, no mother, because its genetic code comes from another being.
This can be done with humans?
If the surgical technique were precise enough.
It's monstrous, Doctor.
Why? Wouldn't you want to live in a world full of Mozarts and Picassos?
He is preparing us for a couple of things. A digital war, where we are fighting who's going to win AI. A currency war, whose currency is going to be dominant. Who's going to actually be responsible for the financial well-being of at least the Western world, and I think a hot war. And so he is taking all of the assets that we need, oil, energy, that's coal, electricity, nuclear, all kinds of tech, not just AI, but military tech.
Democrat Senator John Fetterman broke with ranks to support Trump as well.
It was an April day, and it was noon then too. And people walked and drove and bought and sold and fretted and laughed. And then...
One of their representatives is on his way to this building.
Ladies and gentlemen of the earth, we greet you in peace and friendship. Although we know your language, our own methods of communication are mental rather than verbal.
Do you think military force is really an option from the Trump administration?
No. I think that's wrong. No, that's not an option. And for me, though, it's also undeniable that, one, this is not a brand new conversation. Truman and other in the past offered to buy it there. And now I also remind people it's actually closer to us geographically, North America, to Denmark and Europe, to technically that too. So it's not an absurd idea.
It has come to our attention that Earth has been plagued by both natural and unnatural catastrophes, all of which could easily be acted upon and prevented. We are here to help you. We can show you, for example, how to add a certain very cheap nitrate to the soil and end famine on Earth for good and all. We ask only that you trust us. Only that you simply trust us.
We've licked the title anyway.
What does it say? How much does it tell us?
Here it is.
To serve man. I hope so.
Resilience is racing in 8th, Catalytic toward the inside 9th, Society Man's in 10th, Forever Young in between horses racing at 11th, Domestic Product 3 wide in 12th, Dornock is off the pace today in 13th, Catching Freedom is 14th, and then it's Forever Young moving up into 15th, Grandma the First is 16th, Sierra Leone is 17th, T.O. Password is 18th, Endlessly is 19th, and Anna Marie is 20th and last.
I fervently hope so. Santa Claus came through. Arid deserts became gardens with the devices the Canaanites showed us how to use. The force field that was to end war did precisely that. Armies and navies were practically disbanded.
Please check your guest visas. This is flight number 267 from Earth to our planet.
They tell me they have a mean temperature of 76 degrees on their planet, and the sun never goes down.
And their clothing. It's a metallic substance, just beautiful, kind of like a spun gold. My sister wrote me.
Are you going?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm on a 10-year exchange group waiting list.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Patty?
I'm on the list, too. I'm still working on that book. You know, deciphering that title, well, it's been of no help. It's starting to fall into place now. I think I'll get the answer eventually.
gave up trying a month ago.
This is flight number 914 from Earth to our planet. We will be taking off in 3 minutes.
Mr. Chambers! Mr. Chambers! Don't get on that ship! The rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook!
A demanding pace in the Derby, 46 3/5 seconds, and it's Track Phantom, Just Steel, and Fierceness. The three of them right across the track with 4 furlongs to go. And Mystic Dan is right there in behind Racing fourth saving ground. Epic Ride starts to move up on the outside. Epic Ride is moving up into fourth. Stronghold is there. Resilience is launching his rally now. Here comes Resilience with a 5 wide sweep, and Forever Young is rallying for Japan.
No! 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 Ah!
You have not eaten enough, Mr. Chambers. Please, enjoy. Eat hearty.
Please, Mr. Chambers, eat. We wouldn't want you to lose weight.
New York City, in the year 2022. Nothing runs anymore. Nothing works. But the people are the same. And the people will do anything to get what they need.
This is the police.
What they need most is Soylent Green.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted. Return to your home.
Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Silent Green is people! We gotta stop them somehow!
We are not merely transferring power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
The recollections of one Michael Chambers, with appropriate flashbacks and soliloquy. Or more simply stated, the evolution of man. The cycle of going from dust to dessert. The metamorphosis from being the ruler of a planet to an ingredient in someone's soup. It's tonight's bill of fare from the Twilight Zone.
And Sierra Leone is launching his rally too. It is wide open. Catching Freedom's going to come through toward the inside. They're off the turn. Mystic Dan cut the corner and grabbed the lead right at the top of the stretch. Sierra Leone and Forever Young are shoulder to shoulder with a furlong to go, but they've got 2 lengths to make up on Mystic Dan, who's begging for the wire. Forever Young and Sierra Leone keep on coming. Sierra Leone, Forever Young, and Mystic Dan. A wild finish. Here's the wire. Photo finish. 3 noses on the wire. Mystic Dan, Sierra Leone, and Forever Young.
Another look, and it is Mystic Dan by a nose. Oh, baby. How close was that? Oh my goodness, 18-1 long shot. That was Gene Menez's long shot, Sportsline horse racing analyst. He gave you that. and he wins the Kentucky Derby. The trainer, Kenny McPeak, first trainer since 1952 to win the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby in the same year. They won the Oaks with the Torpedo Anna on Friday, and now they win the Kentucky Derby.
Donald Trump has marked his return to the social media platform of Instagram by releasing his first campaign ad since his indictment. Here's a little look at the ad now.
This is a persecution disguised as a prosecution.
I would dismiss it on its face because it fails to state a crime.
The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. And now these radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement. I have no doubt, nevertheless, that we will make America great again.
Mr. Jonathan Harker? Yes. Come on behalf of Mr. Browning, he'd like a word with you at once.
Well, a letter would have sufficed. As it is, I'm just on my way to...
Demonstration, yes, he's aware. He asked for a moment, please.
And if I refuse?
Make the task in hand a great deal messier, sir.
Please remain seated, Mr. Harker, or we shall be forced to restrain you.
Mr. Browning.
Correct. I am here. Although if you ever allege that I was, I have 4 unimpeachable witnesses who will testify under oath that I am at present dining at the Gresham Club.
What is this about? Why am I here?
I merely wish to present you to my colleagues who shall remain anonymous for the time being.
Your colleagues?
Ah, yes. Welcome, Mr. Harker, to the Order of the Dragon. Every man in this room has sworn an oath that he will give up his life in order to serve God's word. Are you such a man, Mr. Harker? Are you one of us? Would you make that sacrifice?
In the face of a threat, yes, without hesitation.
Even as we speak, such a threat exists. An ancient enemy. The heathens now known as the Ottomans. The Ottomans sit on a sea of oil. If we do not secure those reserves for England and the West, then soon, very soon, with the turn of the spigot, they will have the power to shut down Western industry, and when we are defenseless, their hordes will rise up and crush us.
But, if I may,
please.
If what you say is true, then Mr. Grayson's energy scheme will utterly strip the Ottomans of their greatest weapon. With geomagnetic power, we'll have no need for oil.
Grayson's technology is a dead end, a distraction, and if it continues, one that may prove deadly.
We cannot afford to be led astray by a latter-day Pied Piper whose interests begin and end with lining his own pockets. It is our duty to stop him.
But we need your help.
You'd have me play Judas?
To bring down a false messiah, yes.
On her way to work one morning, down the path alongside the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she cried, I'll take you in and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh, tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Sighed the snake. Now she wrapped him up all cozy in a coverture of silk, and then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from her work that night as soon as she arrived. Now she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived.
Magnificent, aren't they?
When we were young, we wanted to be epic. We rode on the backs of dragons and dreamt of flying cars. We were taught that power was nothing more than being the strongest guy in the room. But brute strength was not enough. We had to learn grace. We found that staying true to who you are is all that matters. That balance isn't found, it's created. And the ability to reinvent ourselves is the most human trait of all. All this to grow fearless, so that when we got the chance, we could deliver that flying car and once again ride on the backs of dragons.
It was a secret of history that couldn't stay hidden forever.
Someone is finally poking their nose about.
It was a prize too rich to ignore.
Well, that would mean that the crown jewels residing in the Tower of London are fakes.
Absolutely.
Now all the world wants what Dr. Abner Mellon has found. And only one man stands beside him. From the director of Ernest Goes to Camp comes a compelling story of man overcoming obstacles.
Ow! 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 I did it!
Of people thrown together by fate.
Nobody's driving the truck! Welcome to my world.
And a really big cannon stuffed with jewels that just might change the world.
England will have a new king.
Stand back, you groveling minions, and prepare to meet your sovereign.
Ernest rides again.
Ernest, are you dead?
Oh, I guess I would be if I weren't just that close to being an actual cartoon.
Listen, I have kind of a pressing appointment, but I thought you might run into a roadblock, so I asked someone to drop by. Hello,
Mike?
sir?
Randall?
Donald. Mr. Trump here wrote The Art of the Deal. Then he wrote a new bestseller, The Art of the Comeback.
2 books. Wow. Well, sit down.
It's time. Who's packing firepower? Ernest rides again. You'll want to bring the whole family.
Oh, no, Sahib. My whole family, rest their souls, were in this way grossly abused.
Well, that must have been tough coming up with that much material.
No.
It's been hard getting started, though, right?
First day, 9 chapters.
9 chapters.
You should call your next book The Art of Not Helping.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. Americans have known wars, but for the past 136 years, they have been wars on foreign soil, except for one Sunday in 1941. Americans have known the casualties of war, but not at the center of a great city on a peaceful morning. Americans have known surprise attacks, but never before on thousands of civilians. All of this was brought upon us in a single day, and night fell on a different world, a world where freedom itself is under attack. Americans have many questions tonight. Americans are asking, who attacked our country? The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as Al-Qaeda. They are some of the murderers indicted for bombing American embassies in Tanzania and Kenya and responsible for bombing the USS Cole. Al-Qaeda is to terror what the mafia is to crime, but its goal is not making money. Its goal is remaking the world and imposing its radical beliefs on people everywhere. The terrorists practice a fringe form of Islamic extremism that has been rejected by Muslim scholars and the vast majority of Muslim clerics, a fringe movement that perverts the peaceful teaching of Islam. The terrorist directive commands them to kill Christians and Jews, to kill all Americans, and make no distinctions among military and civilians, including women and children. This group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden, are linked to many other organizations in different countries, including the Egyptian Islamic Jihad and the Islamic movement of Uzbekistan. There are thousands of these terrorists in more than 60 countries. They are recruited from their own nations and neighborhoods and brought to camps in places like Afghanistan, where they are trained in the tactics of terror. They are sent back to their homes or sent to hide in countries around the world to plot evil and destruction. The leadership of Al-Qaeda has great influence in Afghanistan and supports the Taliban regime in controlling most of that country. In Afghanistan, we see Al-Qaeda's vision for the world. Afghanistan's people have been brutalized. Many are starving, and many have fled. Women are not allowed to attend school. You can be jailed for owning a television. Religion can be practiced only as their leaders dictate. A man can be jailed in Afghanistan if his beard is not long enough. The United States respects the people of Afghanistan. After all, we are currently its largest source of humanitarian aid, but we condemn the Taliban regime. It is not only repressing its own people, it is threatening people everywhere by sponsoring and sheltering and supplying terrorists. By aiding and abetting murder, the Taliban regime is committing murder. And tonight, the United States of America makes the following demands on the Taliban. Deliver to United States authorities all the leaders of Al-Qaeda who hide in your land.
New world order.
A new world order.
A new world order. New world order. New world order.
A new world order.
A new world order.
New world order. New world order.
And a new world order.
A new world order.
New world order.
New world order.
New world order.
A new world order. Need for new world order.
A new world order.
Forgotten hours when we escaped through the winking eyes. Try to keep them fires burning. When the sun did rise, everybody was gone. You were far from home, you were on your own. Shapeshifters, shapeshifters. There goes my alter ego. You know everyone that I know. Shapeshifters, shapeshifters. There goes my alter ego. You know all the people I know. We are all shapeshifters. There goes my alter ego. You know everyone that I know. We are all lonely drifters. There goes my alter ego. Sometimes I feel I'm slipping away. Sometimes I feel I'm slipping away. Sometimes you're on your
they seem. Try not to understand, because it is impossible.
It's going to get more and more overtly occult as these things develop. I mean, Burning Man's totally in-your-face occult. I mean, that's just flat out, we're witches, we're here, we're New Age, we're here to work witchcraft. We're gathering together because there's more power. You know, this has been almost like programming that's been put into humanity's mind for a long time. Now it's more of a manifestation of this. This is just so far off the scale where this world is heading. The amount of time, effort, money that is being expended by Satan and his minions to implement his agenda.
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.
Bye.